Hi everybody, Cheaply Chic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to share with you all of the extra items that will be going up in my Etsy shop tomorrow with the release of the September collection. Finally, I'm releasing this on September 30th, just barely in the month of September, right? Things have been kind of crazy. If you missed any of that info from me, I was already behind, and then I was on a jury for about 4 days. So things got a little crazy, but thankfully I was almost done already when I had originally said I would be releasing this last Friday. So anyway, I'm really excited to finally be getting this up because after this is the fall collection for October. So yes, it is time to move on. So yes, this is a sneak peek if you've missed it of the Providence journal. I'm really excited about this one. I'm always excited. You guys know that. But I will be sharing a flip through of this journal along with the collection itself tomorrow. I'll try to have that video up early around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the main kit will go for sale at noon Eastern Standard Time. So that's an hour after the video release. I know that was confusing to some of you last month who thought that the kit was released at the same time as the video. But because these collections are going so quickly, now I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to see that video before it actually went up for sale so you could know if it was going to be something you were interested in or not. And yeah, just to give everybody a heads up, because I found a lot of people trying to watch the video and then they would be missing out on the release. So I thought it would be helpful if I just did that a little early, just so you guys know. So the video sharing these items will be up around 11 Eastern Standard Time. And then the kit release in the shop will be noon Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to hit that notification bell next to my channel name somewhere around the subscribe button on my channel. And then you can get a notification on your phone when that video goes live if you need help with that. So I have the two ephemera packs like usual, and I'll flip through those in a minute, but I thought I would share some of the other things that are going up in the shop. I went through all of my fall crafting supplies and I'm doing some de-stash packs. I have not crafted for Halloween in a long time. I used to enjoy doing I still do enjoy doing friend mail, but I haven't had the time to do it for quite some time. So since I'm trying to clean up and de-stash some things, I put together some Halloween de-stash packs. They all vary a little bit, but there's a lot of great fun things in here from a few years back, some things from Dollar Tree, Target Dollar Spot, and then, some other Michaels and Hobby Lobby crafty stuff. I quit counting around 60 pieces, but there are well over 60 pieces in these kits. So these are going to be cheap, like garage sale prices in my shop tomorrow. I think I have like 8 or 10 of them or something. But anyway, if you are someone who enjoys crafting Halloween-y type stuff, these will be up in my shop tomorrow and pretty dirt cheap too. I really like to have ruffles, so this month I just created some linen ruffles. These are great because you could coffee stain it or tea stain it if you wanted to, and it's just a really pretty white linen ruffle. So there's over 24 inches here. I do have a few playing cards left of a Victorian style. This deck of cards is super fun, but every single card has a different image on it with some ladies and gentlemen. So I just think that's cool. Every card will have a different image, but these are just really pretty. And then any other Victorian type playing card that I had. So there's just a few in here. I liked this couple, and some of these have been handled quite a bit. They are vintage and they might have some scuff marks or whatever, but they are super fun to play with in the journals. I thought they were a lot of fun. So there are a handful of these. This is something else I put together. I did not use any avocado dyed items in the journal itself, but it definitely plays along beautifully with the theme and the color. So I thought some of you might enjoy this. I stuck on a couple of these playing cards again of this lady and gentleman. There's a little 4-inch white doily on here. This is a avocado dyed business size envelope. And then on the inside, I've just added a few avocado dyed things. I have an envelope, a Rolodex card. That's actually, I think it was avocado dyed, but it looks tea stained. And then an avocado dyed index card. I'm shaking this morning, you guys. I had a lot of coffee. Sometimes it makes me shaky and sometimes it doesn't. I have a piece of ephemera here that's been tea stained. And then on this side, I have another one of those vintage lady playing cards. There is an avocado dyed coin envelope. This has been, you know, soaked in avocado water, so you'll want to glue that shut or open it up and write in it. Another piece of ephemera, and I just stamped this really pretty lady here on the side. A stamped tag with this beautiful lady on it. This is actually what the tag looks like in the main collection as well. This is actually a different stamp, but there's a guest check with another pretty lady in a great hat. Just a little piece of scrap avocado dyed paper. And then this great rose gold colored paper clips. These rose gold clips I actually used in the collection this time as well, and I think they're so pretty. Okay, so there is a handful of these. And then I had a few extra pieces of fabric that I thought some of you might enjoy using along with this collection. I have it packaged in a little wax sandwich bag, clipped to the front with a little rose gold. What are these called? I can never remember what these are called, but these great little clips. There is a little piece of doily here and a little avocado dyed piece of doily. I love using these little bits. And then on the inside, there are a few pieces that would just make beautiful little clusters in this month's journal. So this is a larger piece of material. This is a really pretty wedding fabric that I had. I just took a ruler and there are well over 12 inches. It's like, I don't know. I wanted to make a 12 by 12 inch square and it's actually a little bit over 12 inches. So you're going to get a beautiful piece of wedding fabric here. There is a cutout from a piece of fabric of one of these beautiful roses. There's a piece of applique. This is wedding dress material that I've had. I actually used a piece of this. I hand cut all of these little appliques to use on the cover. They all vary just a little bit, but that is that beautiful wedding dress material. And then this is what the piece looks like that's coming in this little tiny package here. You could use this in various ways in your journal. I love cutting out the little bits and making little fabric clusters with it. And then there's 6 inches, well, actually a little over, it's probably 7 inches of this really pretty trim with these pearls attached to it. And this is actually a pretty pricey little piece of trim from Joann's. So that is what is in that little package. And then one more thing, I put together some paper packs. I had some of these old legal size file folders, and file folders are one of my favorite things to play with. I don't get to do it nearly as much as I want to, but I love those. So everything in here is book pages. There are over, I think there are 40 book pages in here, and I am going to show you what they are really quickly. And then I've just kind of embellished the front with some fall items since we're into that season, and I know a lot of you are enjoying your fall crafting. All right, I just pulled everything out of that folder to keep the integrity of the front, and I'll show you what's on there in a minute. But just to really quickly flip through this, like I said, there's 40 pieces. You're going to get a 12 by 12 sheet of this beautiful paper here. This is the Gingham Farm collection, and it is by My Mind's Eye. But again, this would be lovely. You could use it in absolutely anything, of course, but these papers do coordinate beautifully with this month's collection. So you'll get a folded 12 by 12 sheet of scrapbook paper. This is from an old vintage book. Some of these I have mentioned before. These are some of my favorite vintage books, but to replace them is actually pretty pricey. They can be $40 or more to replace some of these books. So they're hard to come by books. That's why I enjoy putting book page packs together, because I know that some of you love some of these old books too. So there is this book. This is like out of Hammond's Nature Atlas of America. There's a couple pages out of an old British Isle nature book, and these are just so much fun to fussy cut and use in different ways. There are 2 book pages from this coloring book. Another vintage, out of print, Victorian floral book, and again, I love these for fussy cutting. An Edith Holden book page. There's one with some Edith Holden images and then with some text. This can be a lot of fun for collaging or using some of her writings on your pages. There's a Reader's Digest wildlife book page in here, 2 of those. There's an old vintage music book page in here. You get 2 of those pages. This is an Avery label sheet. There's quite a few labels on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 14 address labels on here, but these are a lot of fun to ink up and use in various ways. They all have an herb mailer. Okay, this is a newsletter, and I had a few different kinds of these herb newsletters. So these are back from the 80s and 90s. I'm looking for a date on this one, and I'm not seeing it, but you get the whole newsletter. So I think that is a lot of fun. They're all different, of course. There is an old atlas page, a second old atlas page. You're going to get one of my 1898 ledger pages from an old grocer drugstore. There are a couple vintage dictionary pages in here, a couple old vintage typewriter lesson book pages. There's a sheet of vintage music. Here are 6 by 12 papers from that same Gingham Farm scrapbook collection from My Mind's Eye. This one with the beautiful birds, and this one has some X's. Of course, they're double-sided. This is a resume envelope, business envelope. This is an invitation, an ivory printable invitation that you could run through your printer, and the matching envelope. This is a vintage book page from a While You Were Out little book that we had, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, little message pages. Then there are some office sheets in here. There is some gold parchment paper. There are one of those. And then this is a heavier cardstock parchment that is gray. There are 2 of those. There is an old ledger paper, like a cash book page. You get double pages of that. There's a piece of graph paper. This is some resume paper in an ivory color. You get 2 of those. This is a lace letterhead paper. You get one of those. There's an old carbon copy type invoice paper. This is a grid graph paper. It's about 8 by 8 square piece there. Another old cash book piece of paper. This one's a little larger, and then another old ledger book paper, and then one more folded large ledger paper here. So those are all of the book pages, and then you're getting the old yellowed file folder. And then here on the front, this is some vintage fabric that I had that I have been holding on to for the fall collection, which is going to be next month's collection. And I will tell you, I am going to use this in some way. If it isn't on the cover, it's at least going to be a ruffle. I love this fabric so much. So I have a rather large strip tied around to the front of the file folder here. And then there's just a leaf tag. I had some of these little leaf charms. So they're clipped on there with a garment pin. There's an old flashcard here clipped on with a rose gold paper clip. And then let's see, these are a napkin that you'll probably see next month as well. I love that. Pick your own pumpkin patch farm fresh. So this is great, you know, for decoupaging and making tags and things. And then I just included a little bag of goodies. There is another large rose gold paper clip, a ball mason jar tag, and then here's a stamped image on the front of this little paper bag. Love the truck full of all the vegetables there. And then there's just a few tags in here. There's a garment price tag, library pocket and card. We can never have too many of those. And then there is a coat check tag, a layaway type alteration tag, an older large Rolodex tag, and then just a manila tag. So that is everything that is in this little paper pack. I have 10 of these. All right, so then getting into the ephemera packs. I'm going to start with the larger items first. This is the wallpaper that is in this set. I've gotten to the point where I just love to include a little piece of wallpaper because it's so much fun to play with. And I just really love this pattern on here. There's a book page out of this herbal book here, The Pleasure of Herbs. There's a book page out of a Jane Austen book. This one is Emma. Again, these are just really fun for collaging and making little clusters out of. There's a vintage post-it note type piece of stationery here, and it just has this really beautiful floral image on here with the little bumblebees. There's a larger glassine envelope. I thought these were a lot of fun, and just to give you an idea, these measure almost 6.5 inches long by 4.5 inches tall. So these will be a lot of fun in the journals. There's a little note card here. I think this is a Thomas Kincaid note card, but I just thought that little garden gate was so cute. Yes, Thomas Kincaid there. And the envelope. There's a really pretty garden napkin in here. There's a canceled check, a vintage canceled check in here from I think this one says 1961. Thank you so much, Lisa, for these. My friend Lisa gave these to me for the collection. She is Handmade by Lisa here on YouTube. She's part of my design team. She does beautiful things with these journals. So if you aren't subscribed to her, I will link her again in the description box down below. She's always in my collection related description box. So be sure to go check her out. She's a sweet friend of mine. And thank you so much again, Lisa. These are going to be so much fun to play with. One blank manila tag, one blue claim check. There are 2 playing cards, a red one and a blue one with these beautiful ladies on the front. A black craft tag. There's a book page out of one of these little coffee table type books. It was from a book called like Victorian Posy or something, but it just has some really sweet images and poetry type things on it. So I thought that would be a lot of fun. There is a Jane Austen themed greeting card in here. They are blank note cards. And then it just has some really sweet imagery and then some quotes from Jane Austen books. It also comes with a really pretty envelope of her estate, I'm guessing. And then there's a little glassine bag with a couple old postage stamps inside. So that is the 15-piece ephemera pack. All right, and then getting into the 30-piece ephemera pack, there's a piece of wallpaper border in this one. I loved the roses. I just thought that was pretty. This is like a punch-out little piece of wall border. So you'll notice that it's perforated when you get it, but I thought those flowers could be a lot of fun. There's another Jane Austen book page in here. There's an old certificate letterhead office printable type thing, but again, I just loved the flourish border around this, and I thought that could be a lot of fun. There's a book page out of a wedding type scrapbook, memory keeping type book. There's just some really fun old imagery in there. A friend of mine, again, gifted me this great gardening book with all these little book pages in here. There is a vintage envelope in here. This one is from 1955. They're business envelopes, and all of them have this glassing window. I love that so much. I love those the best. So each one of these ephemera packs will have the little glassing window envelope in there. It still has the postage stamp. Love those. Another little vintage post-it note card. This one has this really pretty floral print here on the front. There's one of these little bags here with the printed wood and lace. A pretty napkin again for decoupaging. 2 pink guest checks. 2 blank manila tags. 1 pink claim check. A burgundy coin envelope, another little note card. This one has some embossing here on the front. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a really pretty blank little note card, and it comes with the ivory envelope. Another one of those canceled checks from my friend Lisa. This one's from 1963. An old flashcard here, a chalkboard label. This is a place card that you would put on the table at a wedding or something. Of course, all the numbers are different, but I thought those were a lot of fun. 2 playing cards. This one is the Lady and Gentleman. There's another really pretty napkin for decoupage. Another one of those Jane Austen note cards and envelope. There are 2 craft tags in here. One is a brown craft tag, one is a black tag. There's an old, larger Rolodex card, an alphabet flashcard. There's a little glassine envelope with a few vintage stamps in there. A really pretty Victorian style calendar page out of this calendar. It has some scripture or quotes on it, but I just loved the roses. And then there are these super sweet handmade, you guys, doilies from my friend Rhonda. Thank you so much again, Rhonda. I actually have a box of Happy Mail from her. I busted into it without filming because I knew she was sending me these little doilies for the collection. I still have to open and film that. Thank you so much, Rhonda. You spoil me. You really do. And these are lovely. So these will be in this collection as well. So this is the 30-piece ephemera pack. So this is everything that will be released with the Providence collection tomorrow in the Etsy shop at noon Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I do still have videos that need to be edited where I am working in last month's collection, and I also have some crafty videos where I created some fun fall embellishments. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with these. I want to make some more, but I definitely want to edit that video ASAP and share it with all of you. They were so much fun to create. So those are some videos that I have that I need to be working on. I need to get my August journal ready and complete to share with you guys. And then, yeah, the collection tomorrow. I'm super excited. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.